Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. So I want to start this off by saying that I think I'm finally going to get unlazy enough to separate my channels into the English/Finnish channel and then the Russian channel. I think the Finnish channel is just going to be Michaela in Finland, or Mikaela in Finland, more appropriately, and then Migratory Michaela will probably just stay the Russian one, unless I just want to decommission it altogether, but basically, my channel growth has stagnated so much so that I feel like I need to try doing something different, and I'm going to finally listen to the advice that people have been giving me. Yes, today I'm wearing makeup and don't look like a hobo because I went and did a photo shoot in the woods with a friend, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get those pictures back. They're going to be beautiful. Anyway, today I want to talk about the fact that I found my bike, and then I think I'm going to probably start a new channel, and maybe I'll put the link for that below in this video once it's actually done. But it's funny because I use Google Translate because the lady who's in charge of this HOA doesn't really speak English, and I still really don't speak Finnish. And people are like, I'll try to speak English to you. I'm like, trust me, it's going to be better than my Finnish, which is, at this point, more non-existent than I'd like to admit. But anyway, I ended up writing this note to this lady and giving it to her. And I guess she used Google Translate, maybe, I don't know, but she responded. And I'm going to read this because I think it's funny, because then everybody can hear how much I sound Russian when I'm speaking Finnish, and then, it doesn't even really make any sense, but we're going to try it. So I said to her, or I wrote to her, Hei, polerani on kadunut. Onko mahdollista, että se on varastettu? Heittääkö asuntoihin joskus vanhoja poleria pois, jos he luulevat, ettei kukaan käytä niitä? Tiedän, että opiskelija-asunhoitaja tekee näin. Kiitos, Mikaela. So, what I remember from what I wrote is basically hey, my bike is missing, maybe it's something it's possible that it got stolen, or basically, do they take them away? I'm trying to remember because I don't even really know what this means anymore. And I said I know that the Student Housing Association usually does that, where, basically, if they think that it's nobody's bike, they're just going to take it. So I thought, maybe that's what happened. And basically, that is what happened. And so she responds to me and said, the service shop marked all bicycles with orange tape. Bike owners had, bike owners to remove the tape by June 16th, which I wasn't back yet by June 16th. I was literally on an airplane. If the bike had on the tape in place, the service took it to this warehouse that I had to go to, where it will be stored for 3 months. You can pick it up from there. Luckily, I actually went and got the bike, which was cool. And luckily I had a friend who could help me haul it back. And he's telling me, you can take bikes on the bus. I was like, really? Because that was not the experience that I had when I first bought the bike. It was I was not allowed to take it on the bus. So I had to have a friend drive me to the shop because I had to get the bike repaired. The ironic thing is the bike still has to get repaired. And I'm probably going to have my roommate do that and pay him for that. So that would be cool. Yeah, but anyway, I just thought that this was interesting because I did not realize that this was something that happened outside of student housing. I knew it happened in student housing where it's your bike, if you are technically supposed to mark your bike with something so that they know that it's your bike, and then they'll not take it. But yeah, so essentially that's what happened, is that I ended up actually, getting the bike. So great. That's a good story. I don't really know what else to add. I think that, I'm also just trying right now to think more about the future growth of my influencer presence. Also, I was thinking about, I really need to start doing some things where I get paid in euros, because the exchange rate is really bad right now, and I don't want to move American money over to my European bank account to pay for my expenses in Europe, which is mostly my housing expenses, because it's just not advantageous right now. Although I do use a U.S. credit card to pay for most things, and with the current exchange rate, that's also not advantageous. But the most important thing is the housing stuff, because, I have to pay a wire transfer fee, all the annoying things, whatever. And right now I need more money available for my US housing expenses. So whatever. Anyway, but yeah, so I think it might be in my best interest to try to keep these a little bit more streamlined and interesting in that sense. And so like I do want to, continue talking about maybe like getting acclimated to Finland as a student, maybe like tips and tricks for that, things that I recommend. The immigration issue and the working issue in Finland is an issue that's interesting, I think. And then maybe I'm gonna like add in some stuff about like my doctor stuff, which I had a really nice doctor's visit today, and I thought about making a video about that, but probably I will, and then that will be like the beginning of that channel. That's what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, this is sort of like my goodbye announcement to this channel, which feels like really sad and weird, but it's like obviously not really the end. It's sort of like when you have a movie that ends and you really want to know what's going to happen next, but then there's a part 2 coming out, so you're like, technically we're all good. That's kind of how I feel right now. So anyway, yes, it's amazing how even with being unemployed, lots of air quotes there, I still feel like super busy. So there's all that too. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So please, go ahead and subscribe to the Mikaela in Finland channel, and there maybe I'll finally start practicing some Finnish, which is probably going to consist of me reading scripts for a while because, well, you have to start somewhere. All right, that's everything I have for today, and see you on the other side, or on the other channel. Until then, bye.